Tuesdays, 9 p.m. on TV 33. Join me, Barry Ross, on Mixing It Up. We'll feature informative community organizations that will offer solutions to Wayne County residents in reference to employment, safety, and security within neighborhoods, job training, education, and mentoring programs. Remember, Tuesdays, 9 p.m. Join me, Barry Ross, Mixing It Up on TV 33. Malik. Welcome, everyone, to Mixing It Up. I'm your host, Barry Ross. We broadcast to you live on this show on TV 33 WHPR. This station's been in existence for many, many years. R.J. Watkins used to do the new dance show, The Scene. He's got this live station for us, and we simulcast on TV 33. If you got the digital box and you don't have cable, and you don't have satellite, but you need to see a TV, you got that black box, you can catch us on TV 33. And we're online. You catch us on the World Wide Web at TV33WHPR.com. This is an interactive station. Our telephone numbers flash across the screen. We want your calls. We want you to get involved in the show. These are all 313-868 numbers. 0342-0351-4336. One number now, I was just told. I'm sorry. 868-4336. We got a new phone system. I take that back. 313-868-4336. Now, every show Barry Ross has done, everything I've ever done in the community, is all on my YouTube. If you go to Ross, R-O-S-S, B like boy, D like David, 51, it's all right there for you. Okay? And I have a brand new website. It's under construction. It's going to be ready soon. And it's going to have everything I've ever done in the community, all my sites, all combined in one. And it's going to be called the Greater Detroit Resource Network. And I'm going to have all these resources where you get job training programs, where you can go and get medical health treatment, where you can call to get help within your community on various things. It's going to be live as can be. Tonight, I have a very, very, very good show. I have with us tonight Minister Victor Muhammad from the FOI. He's a very prominent minister within the prison system in Michigan, and I have the utmost respect for him, and he's got a couple great announcements that are very important. So he called me today, and of course, my show is his show. Anytime he needs to make an announcement, I'm here for this organization that's full of discipline and respect. And I haven't seen too many organizations. Most of them are flashes in the pan. The FOI has been here, is going to stay here, and they want to make sure that the people get the very best in education and health and continue to flourish in our society. So Victor's going to be on in a couple minutes. I also have a very interesting young man. His name is Lee Strotter. He's created what's called Study in Ball, S-T-U-D-Y, in Ball. He's created a study system for athletes in Detroit that love basketball. Wait till you see this. I was blown away. I met him a few days ago at Martin Luther King. They had a career day, and he showed me what he's got, and he'll be on in a little bit. I also have, the last segment of the show, my good friend Pastor L.A. Porsche is going to come and talk to you real down to earth about what's going on in the community. And I mean what's really going on in the disunity in the community and the lack of involvement between the government, the churches, the police, the neighbors, everybody. So L.A. is going to be here in a bit, and he's going to tell you all about it. Now, I got a couple announcements, so I'm going to get to my friend Victor. My good friend Leanne Katzman has been on a liver transplant list for too long. She's getting weaker. She cannot hold on without a new liver. Leanne has spent half her life serving this Detroit community, working with HIV clients, working with drug-addicted clients, and giving of her time, giving of herself. So this isn't just some ordinary person I'm asking you to do something for. And I know it seems like a lot, give up your liver. You can't give up your liver. Here's what's going on today. There's a brand new process. They take a slice of your liver, a small portion. It regenerates as long as you have the right blood type, tissue match, if you're from 18 to 50. It regenerates in the recipient almost immediately. And it also regrows in you back to its full size. It's a bizarre treatment, but obviously you can't give up your liver. She needs your help. My friend Leanna's dying, okay? I want you to think about this. And you call Henry Ford Hospital System, Henry Ford System. You're going to call 313-916-1826. You're going to ask for Nemi Beltrain. Just ask for Nemi, 313-916-1826. Okay, couple more things and we're going to get on the way. Minister Shabazz and I have been talking about this orthopedic, the Oakman Orthopedic School on Wadsworth between Steele and Sorrento in the Grand River Myers area. Roy Roberts has decided to, even though he's leaving, he has decided to close down a school that has 135 disabled children, the majority in wheelchairs. This school has made a difference for these children. They are treating the children and they're putting these children in with the conventional students that have good legs and arms to get around, that are not in wheelchairs. They're treating them with dignity and respect, and no different than the healthier students. It has transformed their lives. There's no other place like it. Children have come in there with speech impediments, speech problems, dyslexia, whatever. They are getting shown more love than they could be shown anywhere else. So he comes in, he says, I'm closing the school down, and I'm going to send you to 2 new schools. The problem is a lot of these parents don't have transportation. They can't go 2 miles away. You don't want to just uproot these children and put them in a new environment. They don't even have the accoutrements and the ramps for orthopedic, children. We're making a stance next Wednesday at 2:30 at 12920 Wadsworth. This is in the Myers Grand River area. At 2:30 in the afternoon, we're all showing up. We're inviting you to come out at 2:30, 12920 Wadsworth. We are going to march from Grand River and Myers at least 1.5 miles west to this new school. They want to send these kids, Noble School. We're going to put the children in chairs for those that want to be pushed. We're making a stance. We are not letting this man take away the school from these children. You hear me? This is next Wednesday. What is that, the 17th? No, the 15th. I'm sorry. And also, around this school, they have 150 abandoned houses. Prostitutes are taking their johns right during school hours in front of these poor children into these abandoned houses. And drugs going on, molesting's going on. They're having their way with the little girls and the little boys now. We want to close up these schools. We need your help. I'm going to release the information. We're deciding tomorrow what the date is. We're going to board up. We're going to close up. We're going to clean up this community. We want to do at least 30 houses over a couple weekends. We need money. My God, people, we cannot do this without your help. Please send us $5. Bring some water. Bring something to eat. You can mail in donations to 17301 Livernois, Suite 405, Detroit 48221, and you address this to GDRP, GDRP, that's short for the Greater Detroit Restoration Project. We need your help. We need your help to help us help you in this city, okay? I'm going to talk more about that in a minute. Right now, I want to bring on, I can safely say, a pretty close friend in a short period of time for someone that looks like me. I'm impressed that Minister Victor Muhammad has allowed me to be somewhat close for someone that looks like me, for a man of his stature and what he does. And thank you for coming tonight.
Well, I thank you, and I'd like to thank all of your viewers and extend from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and Minister Rasul Muhammad, his local representative here in Detroit. The greetings of peace and paradise to you, the viewers of Barry Ross's show, and the citizens of Detroit of Assalamu Alaikum. The reason I'm on, of course, is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is coming to Detroit. And it has
He's
been
smiling, ladies and gentlemen. I'm smiling.
I'm ecstatic because the last time that he came was in 2007 when we had Savior's Day here at Ford Field. And when you look at a city such as Detroit, with what Barry was speaking of some of the concerns of DPS, you have an emergency manager over DPS. You have an emergency manager over the city that has taken the power out of the mayor's hands and taking the power out of city council's hand and actually taking the power of the vote of the citizens of Detroit. You have us having 4 of the top 10 most dangerous areas in the country. We have 3 of the top 10 murderous area codes, zip codes in the country.
Excuse me, would you mind telling what these zip codes are?
I don't know.
205?
48205 especially, and it's right there at the 48205. You have it right over there in the Mack and Bewick area, and then you have it back, I believe the other zip code is over near Joy in Chicago, around that area over there. But we're #1 murder capital of the world. And we're in the top 5 in almost every other statistical crime data in the country. And you have all of these conditions going on at one time. You have murder and mayhem going on. You have elderly being assaulted, beat, and raped. You have our little girls taken and snatched off the street and losing of their innocence in a dark alley or abandoned house or abandoned garage by predators who are preying upon the police department that is undermanned in a situation such as this. When you have all of these conditions that take place, and one of the greatest things that is revealed in Scripture is when before God punishes the people, he will send them a warner and a messenger, so that if they listen to the warner and the messenger, and they once again regain God's favor by following the warning or the message that that warner or messenger comes with, that he will bless and send mercy and also heal the land. I believe Detroit is in the greatest need of a healing of the land. We're at a point in time where we do not have a lot of time left to make a decision on what we want to go. We have this one or that one saying what we can or will do, but the thing is you can't do a thing about the conditions that are in place until God intervenes. And God is going to be brought to us in the message of the Most Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And I know that there's those who want to buy into what someone told them, but I'll tell you this, never once in the history of Scripture or the time that we live in has God ever sent 2 messengers so that you would not be in error if you picked the wrong one. He only sends 1 messenger, 1 warner, 1 prophet, 1 voice coming out from the wilderness, and he shows his power by reaching in the people who are under that affliction and pulls out one from amongst himself to deliver the message that he has put in his heart. And you will know that it is the message of God, because there's one thing about the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. He has no problem with speaking truth to power.
Thank you for saying this, because that's exactly what I wanted to bring up. And this is probably, in my opinion, one of his greatest attributes, that has got someone that looks like me to pay attention to him, because a lot of people think, especially my Jewish brethren, that he's just a rebel rouser and he's trying to incite, and they're worried that he's trying to start a riot. He speaks the truth.
Yes. Well, the thing is this, if the minister has said this himself on the Rock Newman show, he says, if I am a liar, then your truth should defeat my lie.
That's right.
And the thing is your speech cannot defeat his truth, because his truth is 100% truth. Everything else is opinion. Everything else is, and he asked this, he said, you say I'm a hate teacher. You say I'm a hate preacher. Show me where you have seen me or my followers exhibit the hate that you have produced.
In action.
You know,
no
we
question.
have not made white and black only drinking fountains and bathrooms, and we didn't hang people from trees or anything such as that. And we have not set up there and created death or destruction in your family the way you have done in our family. So like the minister said, he said it's showdown time. It's time that you come out with your lies. And he said, let's broadcast it so the whole world could see. And you bring what you call your truth and stand it against my truth, and it will not stand, because his truth is from Almighty God. And he's coming to a city that is in such need of hearing truth today. We don't know who to trust today. We've got so many people smiling in our face and hiding their fangs here in Detroit as the city goes deeper and deeper in the abyss. And it's like I said, no mayor, no council, no governor, no economist, no lawyer. See, we've got all these people, accountants and lawyers, making decisions on the education of our children. You don't ever ask the question, what do the children think? And you've got all these intervals acting in our situation, and you know that they don't have the answer because they would have solved the problem by now. So you can bring emergency manager after emergency manager after emergency manager, and it will not, the wounds of Detroit will not be healed until the word of God is delivered to the people. And no one's talking about God now. They're talking about money. They're talking about budgets, but no one's talking God. So you're going to hear on the 17th someone talking about God and what he can do to turn this city around. And until we, as the citizens of Detroit, accept that message, we will be in this abyss and continue to go down to the depths of hell with every accountant and lawyer that comes in here to try to save us, when only God himself can save us through his messenger, and that's Minister Farrakhan.
This man is here because he's got a little bit of passion about y'all, what's going on. I just specifically, and I want you to repeat this a couple of times, tell him about the morning, what time and where.
Yes.
And then what they need to know and do in the afternoon a couple times, and where that's going to be. I don't know if we specifically, but I want them to get this if they haven't gone.
On the morning of the 17th, the minister is going to address
Of this month,
May 17th, a week from this coming Friday. The minister is going to address City Council, Detroit City Council, at 9 o'clock on the 17th, Friday the 17th, 9 o'clock, in the Irma Henderson room of the City Hall.
the auditorium.
The auditorium.
And we recommend, I don't mean to brute, but we recommend, if he's speaking at 9, you better be there at 7:30, 8 o'clock if you want to get in.
If you want to get in, you know, because other than that, you're going to have to watch it on television, because wherever the minister goes, many people follow. You know, and the thing is he's there in the morning, and then we're at Fellowship Chapel, the church of the Pastor
Reverend
Wendell Anthony, and that is located on 7707 West Outer Drive, Fellowship Chapel. The doors open at 5:30. The program begins at 7 o'clock. And I'm telling you again, it's free of charge. So get there early and get your place because this is historic. The minister has not been here since 2007. And the word he's going to deliver is a needy word at a time, like the scripture says, a word said in due season. And this is the season for the people of Detroit to hear a word from the man of God.
Now, I just want them to know, can white people come?
We've never said white people couldn't come.
I'm coming. Listen, yours truly.
Here's what's interesting. Let me go ahead and speak to that. If we treated them like we have been treated, see, it's funny. I remember when Thomas Jefferson was quoted by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, when Thomas Jefferson said he shudders at the thought that God is just for what we have done to the black man in America. See, the enemy of you and the one who creates a problem for you is always worried that retaliation is going to happen. But the thing is this, reciprocation comes from God himself. You should be worried what God's going to do for you, what you have done to the black man and woman in America. So don't worry yourself about us harming you. Only thing that you're going to be enlightened to is a word of truth, and you will not be able to continue going on with the lies and machinations about the minister, because when you speak those lies and machinations, it's only because someone told you to think that way. Someone has shown you a certain way, or they did a sound bite of what the minister said and use it to their own thing. Go be a man and woman and listen for yourself. Stop letting someone else think about you. Stop being a puppet to your puppet master. Go hear it for yourself. And I guarantee you, when you come out of there, you'll say, man, that's a man of God. I should have listened to him a long time ago. But always understand this, black men and women of this city. When your enemy tells you not to go somewhere, you should break your neck to get there.
I gotta say, I'm relatively out in the community for the oppression. You know, I mean, I stand for fairness. I'm out here a lot protesting City Hall, school board, whatever. I just gotta say, it is rather amazing for what I know, for the oppression that's been going on with the African Americans, not just now, not in the 60s, for the last 500 years, for black folks to be protesting in a nonviolent manner. I'm out all the time. It is amazing to me what this governor has been doing to the people in the city of Detroit, and stepping all over everybody, taking everything away, trying to control, trying to privatize, and all black folks are out there is just trying to say something in their behalf instead of going after him. And you know, when the Black Panthers in the 60s armed themselves and went to the legislature, what was that? It wasn't L.A. What city?
Sacramento.
In Sacramento. They weren't going in there to kill anybody. Everybody's misunderstood. The right to bear arms, had the right to bear arms. We're all misunderstood. If you know, I talk about this, I've talked to you about it. If we could just sit down and discuss our differences without attacking one another and worried that there's going to be a fight or a murder or a killing, I ain't afraid to, you know me, I'm not afraid. Oh, it would just be so wonderful. Imagine what we could do in the Middle East.
But the thing is this, if you sit down and dialogue with the minister, your line will not be able to walk anymore. They've been talking for over 30 years saying that the minister said this, or the minister said this, or the minister did this, or the minister did that for 30 years. If we sit down and we dialogue and the truth, you know, like I said, if I'm lying, then your truth would defeat my lie.
We're talking about me. If I can sit down and discuss openly, if you listen, I can always readjust my mindset. If you illustrate to me another perspective on what I'm saying, and I believe it, I can adjust myself to what you're saying.
Well, Barry, let's just take it real. There's more profit in disunity than in unity.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
There's more profit in that, because if we ever came together as a people,
God
see,
forbid.
the thing is this. What you have to realize is the one who is controlling everything, economics and situation, is actually the minority. They're not the majority.
Yes.
But the thing is for the minority to rule the majority, you have to cut the majority down into bits and pieces that you can manage. The Baptists don't talk to this one. The Muslims don't talk to that one. And this organization doesn't talk to that one. We got to do this. We got to do that. See, the ones who reign and benefit from our disunity are the ones who run to the bank while we're still in disunity.
It's a diversion.
And it's a divide and conquer tactic that's been in existence for hundreds of years. But the thing is this, the Son of Man comes after the working of Satan. And I can tell you, right now, in the way Satan is working in this world with what we're seeing on a daily basis, all you have to do is know that it's time for the Son of Man to be revealed. And when the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan comes, you aren't going to hear a man who talks like that man. You're not going to hear a man who loves like that man and speaks truth to power without one quiver. You know, and so the thing is this, the time has come. People say, man, it can't get any worse in Detroit, and then something else happens. It can't get any worse, and something else happens. But the thing is this, those things will continue until God intervenes and sends his messenger with the word from his mouth to his ear for his messenger to give to his people, which are the people of Detroit, so that things could start to turn around. That's why they don't want you to listen to Farrakhan. Because as long as things stay the same, I can still control the majority as a minority. But when you listen to Farrakhan, he tells you to enter into trade and commerce, have your own farmland, take your mouth.
The Shrine had created that.
Well, the shrine wasn't before the nation.
No, but I'm just saying.
But I'm saying is this. The thing is this. The nation was a self-contained unit. We had our own grocery stores, and we still do. We have our own farmland, and we still do. We raise our own farmland. We raise our own food. We have our own clothing and things like that. So what we do is we depend on ourselves that way, because trust me, you also heard what's happening with this GMOs. Genetically modified organisms.
The food.
At first, Monsanto, Whole Foods said that they weren't going to sell GMOs. Then Monsanto used their leverage to put pressure on them, and they bowed down to Monsanto.
We might be speaking about something people don't know or understand.
GMOs are chemically genetically modified foods, organisms that
And the
they
purpose?
make.
Tell 'em.
The purpose of that is it's actually for profit and control. But Monsanto is the leading manufacturer of GMOs. And what they did was Whole Foods, who is known for their organic and fresh food, said they were not going to carry genetically modified organisms. Then a week later, Monsanto put their pressure on them, and they came back and said, well, we are going to sell it. But here's what went under everybody's nose while we're looking at the basketball games and baseball season and all this stuff, and Jay-Z concert and Kid Rock down at Ford Field. The president signed a bill that says that if you got sick from genetically modified organism, that you could not sue them in a federal court. So the thing is this, and also their same lobby was able to push the fact to say, look, we don't even have to put a label on the food. So when you're going to this grocery store, you don't
have
even
to put a label.
No.
Was that passed too?
Yes.
All right,
that was done by the lobbies. That's a whole nother subject, but we'll get into that on another time. What I just want to invite all of your people, all of the people in the viewing audience, tell a friend to tell a friend. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is coming. It is free of charge, doesn't cost you a penny. You just got to put your body in a car, get 2 or 3 in the back seat, and get over to
A week from this Friday.
A week from this
Listen,
Friday.
I know you got to go.
Friday, May 17th, doors open at 5:30. Program starts at 7 o'clock. Fellowship Chapel, 7707 West Outer Drive, Detroit, Michigan.
I need you for a couple more minutes.
I don't have a couple more. I do have to go.
Okay.
Right.
Could you take 2 minutes and just, because a lot of people, you're talking about him, you praise him, acknowledge him, honor him, but I just want the people that might not know, that maybe tune in for the first time, to know what you do in the state of Michigan.
Okay,
Real quick.
I'm the director of Prison Reform Ministry for the Nation of Islam in the state of Michigan. I go into the prisons, Michigan Department of Corrections. I go into Wayne County, and I go into the federal prisons. I just recently completed, over the last 2 months, I went to 17 prisons, traveled over 3,900 miles, and spoke to over 1,900 inmates in spreading the word of peace and unity, which is the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, as taught to us by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and that's what I do. I also
and he gets down and dirty and personal with these guys. This just isn't an up-top position. I just want to ask you one quick question.
Okay.
What percentage of African Americans are comprised up of our penal system in the United States?
Well, we represent 13% of the population, but we represent, people of color represent 65% of those incarcerated.
So is this a devised plan or what? Is it a
course.
business?
Of course.
Okay.
The prison industrial context is a multi-billion-dollar business aimed at the future of our children. Matter of fact, I'll say this before I go. Last year, they just passed the 4 strikes rule here in Michigan, whereas in other states like California, they have a 3-strike rule. If you commit 3 felonies of the same kind, you get 25 to life as your sentence. In Michigan's rule that slid under your nose while we was partying, having fun, as in the days of Noah, what happened was they sent this, and you have 4 felonies. You could have, a gun charge, a dope charge, child support, drunk driving. And those are still considered 4 felonies that can lend you a 25 to life sentence.
But you had the 3-time loser rule before. What is it makes this different?
It's just 4 felonies.
Oh.
It's 4 felonies. They don't have to be the same felony. It can be 4 different felonies.
Before it was just if you went to prison 3 times? Was that it?
Well, 3 felonies of the same kind.
Okay.
Like 3 gun charges, 3
right.
dope charges. But the difference is that it can be child support. Something as simple as child support.
Child support is a felony?
You can get a felony charge if you owe enough money.
Okay.
And all of that. But
one more time. One more time and get out of here.
One more time. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, Friday, May 17th. Doors open at 5:30. Program starts at 7. Fellowship Chapel, 7707 West Outer Drive, Detroit, Michigan. And it's free admission. Get there early because, you will never be the same once you hear what the minister has to say for Detroit. And also City Council at 9 o'clock Friday morning, the 17th.
Okay.
So I thank you for your time, and I thank your listeners for
you guys. Your
tolerating
blood
me.
to me, really. Our blood is both red.
Oh, it's all.
They
all
might
blood is
say
red.
Jews bleed green, but I got some red in me. We're going to take a quick break and get you out of here. We'll be right back, everybody, with Lee Strider. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Thank you, brother.
The following program does not reflect the views and opinions of Channel 33, its management, or sponsors. You're watching Power Talk on your community TV station, UHF TV 33, Detroit, Highland Park.
Welcome to Metro Foodland, where you will always find courteous service. Our hardworking staff always gives their all to maintain our dairy fresh and wholesome products, cold cuts, premium meat, and of course, we have some of the freshest produce around. Check out our deli and bistro. We also carry specialty items such as Tanisha Noni, Water Station alkaline water, and much, much more. If we don't have it, just ask, and we'll do our best to get it. Remember to ask how to join our Healthy Rewards Club. Seniors and ladies, always ask for an escort to your vehicle. We'll see you soon at Detroit's own community grocery, Metro Foodland, located at 18551 Grand River. That's 18551 Grand River, near Finkel and the Southfield Freeway. Remember, that's Metro Foodland.
Tuesdays, 9 p.m. on TV 33. Join me, Barry Ross, on Mixing It Up. We'll feature informative community organizations that will offer solutions to Wayne County residents in reference to employment, safety, and security within neighborhoods, job training, education, and mentoring programs. Remember, Tuesdays, 9 p.m. Join me, Barry Ross, Mixing It Up on TV 33.
1,000 men's suits. And right now at Sermons, you can buy one and get two free. Not one suit, but two free. Buy one suit, bring two friends. Buy one suit, bring two relatives. Buy one suit, get two free. Bring your pastor, your boss, your teacher. Buy one suit and get two free. Sermons with 90 years of experience, carrying jeans, exotic skin shoes, sets, shirts, leather, sweaters, everything for the well-dressed man. Buy one suit, get two free. Sermons on Randolph in downtown Detroit.
Welcome back to Mixing It Up. My friend Victor Muhammad, he's such a dynamic man. We need you to get close to the microphone. Sorry. Right now, I got a very interesting young man who's come up with we talk about visionaries and creative ideas. Right now, everybody, I want to introduce you to Mr. Lee Strotter. Strotter? Strotter. Thanks for coming out tonight. We met last week at Martin Luther King, and you have an interesting business you're trying to get off the ground. Let's tell everybody what you do and how you thought of it and what it's all about.
Well, I have a business called Studying Ball, and what it is it's a new study tool to give student athletes, mainly young men, but I have a girls ball coming as well, but give them a new way to study. Studying Ball is a man's regulation size basketball that comes with a pen, which is water and sweat resistant, but removable, and it comes in a bag, so keeping the ball and pen together is easy and convenient. The way student athletes typically study is for each piece of information they write on the ball, they will pick a specific shot. They'll shoot that shot and repeat the information until they've made a specific amount of shots. A specific number of shots. Once they do that, they will pick a new piece of information and pick a new shot until the entire ball has been studied. Once they've done that, they've probably shot a couple hundred shots as well as studied all the material they need to be studying. So they don't have to divide up time between studying and working on the game. They can do them both at the same time.
I just want to say it's study, S-T-U-D-Y, the letter N, and ball. Now, you brought a basketball with you, and he's made up these basketballs. He's got a company, in Asia, China,
Yeah.
making them. Now, we're going to talk about this. That you cannot buy these balls here at all. Isn't that correct? This white ball is not available for consumption?
No.
All right, hold it up. Just show them. Now, you're going to write on this with a regular pen. right?
Studying ball comes with the pen.
Just a regular ink pen.
Yep.
Okay.
And they would write their study notes. Just I'm going to write S&B for studying ball, but they write them on the ball. Then you see the ink is not smearing or anything, even when it's wet.
It won't run.
No.
So they now this isn't going to help them if they're going to a game and they're going to
No,
play.
this is
a
just strictly for
specific.
studying.
Okay. Because I don't even know if I understood exactly what you said. You're giving them instructions on how to use the ball in a specific type of, like, sort of a game.
Pretty much a sort of
Like
a
horse
game.
or whatever, but not horse. Let's
Yep.
talk about, okay, you write your notes, and you're going to a court alone?
Or alone, or you might have somebody rebounding for you. You might have a friend that's taking the same course, so you both need to study. But even if the basketball, mainly because it's a sport that you can work out by yourself. You don't need anybody to rebound, pass you the ball. You can put in work by yourself. So.
Okay, what are you recommending they do? Now they get to the court.
So once they get to the court, they have their notes that they done took in class.
Go ahead.
They'll put their notes on the ball. So now they're at the court, and they got their notes right here in their hand. They'll pick a shot. So say for the first piece of information, he may want to work on this corner three-pointer. He's going to shoot the corner three-pointer and repeat the information. He's going to shoot and repeat, shoot and repeat, shoot and repeat until he makes it.
Wait, slow down. Shoot and repeat the
Whatever he's
information
studying, yes.
out loud to himself.
Out loud to himself in his head, however he see fit. But he's going to repeat that information, and he's going to shoot that shot. He's going to repeat that information. He's going
How
to
many
shoot that
times
shot.
is he going to keep doing that? Until he feels he's got it?
Until he feels he's got it. Yeah, pretty much till he feels he got it, or a number, like he might just say, I'm going to shoot this and repeat this information until I make 10 shots from each spot. So he might shoot it. It may take him 50 shots to make 10, depending on his skill level, but he's going to shoot and repeat, shoot and repeat.
All right, now when you sell those balls, it comes in a great bag.
Yep.
Are you going to, is there like a printed instruction thing
Yes.
for the game that you recommend?
Yep.
This is it?
Yeah.
Okay. You want to just X scores, show problems with college readiness. Okay, well you got too much here for me to read. So you got specific instructions on what he's recommending that you do. Now, have you here? For best results, use each panel from the top down.
Right, so just so you have more room to write instead of just randomly writing.
Remove ink within 3 to 5 hours. Now, tell them what they got to do to remove this ink.
Well, it comes off with non-acetone fingernail polish remover. You have
What is
to use
non-acetone?
non-acetone. There are two types of fingernail polish remover. Acetone, which is a stronger chemical, and then non-acetone is a weaker chemical. You want to use the non-acetone because it's a weaker chemical. It won't affect the material of the ball.
And so it doesn't affect the life wear and tear of that ball?
Nope.
Okay. It says remove ink with non-acetone, blah, blah, blah. All right, now, how to study, like you said. Pick a shot,
Pick a shot.
that you want to work on,
Yep.
that you're weak on maybe. Pick a shot you like, whatever it is, or a drill for each piece of information. They could have their biology notes on here. They could have their economics, whatever. They could break it down, right?
Yep, and it really doesn't. If he's old enough to play basketball, he's old enough to use a studying ball. Because if he's a little kid, he might be working on state capitals. If he's an older kid, he might be working on chemistry. But yep, a new
Okay,
study
now
tool.
have you seen young men, young ladies get this ball, put it in a practical application, and seen the results, favorable results?
Yes.
How's it? Tell us about it and who's been doing this?
Well, I sold my first order of basketballs to Simeon High School.
Come on.
I sold my first order of basketballs to Simeon High School in Chicago, Illinois. Coach said that they use the balls often, that the kids love the balls. So since then, I just, I randomly go around to different schools or set up at different places and sell balls to parents and kids as I come across
Have you
them.
been videoing these kids, like interviewing these kids after they get the ball to, it's like testimony? 'Cause
Yes,
I think what
I do have the research. I'm in the process of putting it into the my brochure. But yes, I do have research on the results of the basketball.
And you're building a website.
Website
right.
is studyingball.com, just like it sounds, STUDYNBALL.com. Yes.
And on this website, you can purchase the balls?
You can purchase the balls. You can see students that have purchased their basketballs, coaches that believe in the basketball. Yep.
This is a regulation ball.
Regulation 29.5 inches. Yes.
And just off the, just for the show's sake, right now somebody's watching. Man, this phone. Hold on a second. Hello, you're on the air.
Good evening, Barry.
Good evening. How are you?
And good evening to the gentleman. I'd like to know if he's a relative of Joe Strotter's.
I don't know. I would have to ask my grandmother.
Okay, he was a basketball player here in our city, Joe Strotter. So I was just wondering, since your new venture involves that game, I'd like to wish you good luck, and I think it's an excellent idea.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm trying my hardest to get it out here.
Okay, good evening.
Thank you. Tell everybody right now, if they wanted to buy some balls and what they can do, they go to your website, but they give them your phone number if
You
want.
can go to the website, of course, studyingball.com, or you can contact me by cell phone, area code 313-460-2497. 460-2497.
Now, I've invited you. You remember where?
To the conference on the 17th, was it?
July 17th, Metro Detroit Youth Day, where I'm going to have a table with Minister Shabazz. You're going to bring a few balls, and you're welcome. Well, maybe we're going to have like an easel, and we can put up some information. There's going to be 32,000 teenagers.
Oh, that's going to be lovely.
Coming and going all day long. We're going to be inside of a tent. The Detroit Pistons, I believe it was them that refurbished a basketball court, so there's going to be some prizes. They refurbished the court. Governor Snyder, which I'm not too interested about hearing, but he's supposed to be coming to speak. There's going to be, like a platform, they call it a Diaz. There's going to be a lot of public officials coming, and it's an all-day affair. And if you have any flyers like these, I'm going to tell you what you can do with them, because we can't pass them out. We got to bundle these in 50s. And then we give them we put them on the buses because the word they're going to throw them out. How much is this ball? Do you want to say the price?
Not a problem. The balls are $50 a piece. Of course, when I go to schools, I typically have to knock down the price because they buy them in bundles. But the balls are $50 a piece.
How many bundles constitutes a deal? I mean, how many they
well,
have to buy?
typically, the break starts over 10 basketballs.
And what can they get over 10 for?
Once you get over 10, I believe it's $5 off each ball up until 20. After 20, it's $10 or $15 off each ball.
Right. Now, if I go online and I purchase these balls, what's the turnaround time? How long will it take me to get a basketball?
As long as you'll have them, depending on where you are. If you're local, you'll have them within a day or two because I have no problem delivering it. But if I have to send it to you, I'll have it in the mail to you within the next day or two.
The customer pays for shipping, I'm sure,
yes.
Right? Okay, and that depends on how you want it shipped.
Right.
You play a little ball?
I used to. My knees ain't what they used to be, but yeah, I definitely used to play basketball. That's where this came from, because I had the ability, I just didn't have the grades to go where I needed to go.
Did you talk to my man I was telling you about in Royal Oak?
No, I haven't had a chance to make it out there yet, but yeah, the shoe store, yeah.
Okay, if you need me to go, I told you I would. Give your information, give the website again.
Again, studyingball.com, STUDYNBALL. Phone number is area code 313-460-2497.
Now, anybody that comes on my show, I stand behind the credibility, or they wouldn't be on my show. So you will not have any problems with this man receiving the balls. And we're asking you to follow his instructions. Don't buy the ball, write some study notes on it, and then go to some playoff game, because that's not what it's all about. I mean, if that's what you got to do, I mean, that's your shot. But funny, that's your shot. we at least suggesting to you to improve your schoolwork. Now, somebody in college can use this.
Absolutely. There is no age.
I could use it. Anybody can use it.
Anybody who wants a new interactive way to study.
Now, what's a white ball, if I'm playing outside, is going to get dirty, right?
Well, yeah, the ball is made to be used indoors. If you do use it outside, it won't tear up the material. It's just going to get really dirty, but
okay, so
you
that's
can't
something.
clean it.
Do you have that in here to say you recommend to play inside?
Yes.
Okay. How long you been doing this?
I've been selling studying balls now for about 8 months now.
Okay. Are there any incentives like for scholarships or giveaways or in general? If you come to this thing at Metro Detroit Youth Day, maybe you could have like a little contest or something, or pick a number or whatever, win a ball, or I don't know. Just a thought.
Absolutely, sounds good. I would definitely be willing to give a couple studying balls away to some of the students to get good word of mouth.
Right.
I'm open to anything, so that definitely sounds interesting. So we don't have to select people. It can just whoever wins.
We
they can
can't
get a
sell
ball.
anything there.
No, but
like,
we can
like
definitely
believe
give
me,
some
I got a
away.
closet full of Detroit Coalition Against Violence T-shirts that I want to bring and sell them and end up giving them away. We're going to give away wristbands, Minister and I, and maybe we'll see what happens. But I appreciate you coming.
I appreciate you having me.
And I want to, we want to support you. You're from Detroit. You're in Detroit.
Born and raised.
Okay. You have somebody's in this with you.
Well, it's just me and my mom.
Oh, I thought you,
I mean, I have
give a
people,
shout out to your mother.
Yep, Stephanie Straughter. That's my backbone.
Hello, Stephanie.
My future wife, Brittany Arnold. They are my support. Without them, I couldn't do what I do with studying ball. But yeah, it's really I'm pretty much a one-man team, but that's fine. I don't mind working hard for myself.
I would like to do a mini, like a template, a test pilot, and give some of these to some kids that are not doing well in school that like basketball, just to see what they would do. I mean, the testimonies are everything. If you get, nobody relates to the youth better than the youth.
Absolutely.
If I'm in the hospital and I have cancer and I'm undergoing chemo, ain't nobody feel my pain but somebody that's going through it, losing their hair, going through the depression. I've had friends that have had hepatitis C, and they go on this drug interferon. When you go on interferon, they assign you a nurse because a lot of people get suicide thoughts. Nobody knows what they're going through other than somebody that's going through it. The bonding there is in support groups, the bonding youth has. A child can change another child's life quicker than an adult. You believe that?
Yeah.
Yeah. They see their friends changing. It's everything. They saw a friend that did terrible in school, was a baller on the streets, whatever, went in and out of jail and comes out changed. Means everything to them. That's why a lot of the youth that gets in trouble come out and they inspire the other children talking at schools, what have you. I know very well. I was in many support groups when I was younger, and nothing ever helped me more than somebody else that went through my pain that shares your pain. Okay, Lee, I appreciate you.
One more thing.
Sure.
I'm putting together a basketball tournament, so any basketball players, keep an eye out. Going to be shooting against two of my long-time basketball mates, Greg Graves, which is my older cousin, and Rashad Phillips. We all grew up together playing basketball. Details will be coming soon.
You'll let me know and we'll announce it on the show.
Absolutely. Sounds good.
Okay.
You can follow me on Instagram at Studying Ball or Twitter at Detroit Raised.
Okay. Thank you. Stay here for a minute. We're going to take a break for a few minutes, and then the pastor, L.A. Porsche, is going to be taking over the show. So stay put. We'll be back at about 5 after.
Career. Real Brothers Inc. and Detroit Training Institute of Technology presents Building and Construction Trades career training in the following areas: residential electrical wiring, heating and cooling, modern plumbing, carpentry and building construction, green technology building construction. This course also offers paid training, bus tickets, job placement, national certification upon completion. For more information, contact Real Brothers Inc. at 313-833-4946. Classes are forming now.
The following program does not reflect the views and opinions of Channel 33, its management, or sponsors. You're watching Power Talk on your community TV station, UHF TV 33, Detroit, Highland Park.
Welcome to Metro Foodland, where you will always find courteous service. Our hardworking staff always gives their all to maintain our dairy fresh and wholesome products, cold cuts, premium meats, and of course, we have some of the freshest produce around. Check out our deli and bistro. We also carry specialty items such as Tanisha Noni, Water Station alkaline water, and much, much more. If we don't have it, just ask, and we'll do our best to get it. Remember to ask how to join our Healthy Rewards Club. Seniors and ladies, always ask for an escort to your vehicle. We'll see you soon at Detroit's own community grocer, Metro Foodland, located at 18551 Grand River. That's 18551 Grand River, near Finkel and the Southfield Freeway. Remember, that's Metro Foodland.
Tuesdays, 9 p.m. on TV 33. Join me, Barry Ross, on Mixing It Up. We'll feature informative community organizations that will offer solutions to Wayne County residents in reference to employment, safety, and security within neighborhoods, job training, education, and mentoring programs. Remember, Tuesdays, 9 p.m. Join me, Barry Ross, Mixing It Up on TV 33.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Mixing It Up with Barry Ross. Barry stepped out. He's taking care of a few things, but I'm here to take over for a little while. Many of you have seen me on this network over the years, and I love the network. I love addressing the needs and the people of the city of Detroit. So I'm happy to be back on WHBR. Well, the reason why I'm on this evening is because I was having a conversation with Barry this afternoon, and we were talking about all kinds of different issues going on in the city of Detroit. And one of the main things is this election coming up. This is one of the most important elections for the city of Detroit in the last 30, 40 years. The reason why this election is so pivotal is because Detroit is in a very, very serious economic situation. Due to the housing crisis, massive foreclosures, banking problems, our city is destroyed. People were being thrown out of their houses, even though let me explain this. In the banking industry, there's a term known by bankers and financial experts called fractional reserve banking. That means for every dollar that you put in a bank, they have the ability to turn that $1 into $10. Well, if you put one real dollar in your account, in some kind of magical way by osmosis, the bank creates 10 more dollars that don't really exist, that's a problem. Because eventually, the money isn't backed up by anything. Then they take that extra $9 that they generated from thin air, and they loan it to you. So when you buy a house, they're loaning you this invisible money. Then they raise the interest rate on that invisible money for your house. So let's look at this. You buy a property. You put down a down payment, which is real money, your hard-earned money. You put the down payment. They take that real cash, which is your down payment, and multiply it by 10, and they buy stock and businesses and investments and stuff like that. Then they raise the interest rate on your house. So when you have adjustable rate mortgage, which means it can go up or down, they always say, well, it can always go down, but it didn't go down. It just steadily went up. So when people apply for a mortgage and they said, oh, you know, with your credit rating and this and that, the other, your mortgage is going to be $500 a month. Let's just say $500 for a round number. Then all of a sudden you get your mortgage statement in the from the bank in the mail, and it says now it's $600, $700, $800. Now you're panicking because you're like, wait a second. When I did my closing, they said that my monthly mortgage would be $500. Now it's $800. I can't pay that. So then you go into foreclosure. You can't pay the bill. What can you do? They're going to take your house. So let's look at this. For however long you were living in a house, you were making your payments. You put the down payment. This is all real money that the bank is now multiplying and lending out to other people, this invisible money. They have your real money, and then they multiply the invisible money. So they foreclose on you. They take your hard asset, which is your house, your real house, and they happen to insure that house so that when they foreclose on you, when you say, well, let's work out a new payment plan, you know, get my payments down so I can stay in my house and keep my family intact. They say, no, we're not doing that. Why? Because you may not know it, but each of those mortgages is insured fully for the full amount. So if you had a house for $100,000 and they boot you out, they get the house, they keep your down payment, they keep all the payments you made, and they get the insurance money for the entire $100,000. That's crazy. Then when you get put out of your house, they don't care if the thieves pillage and rob the house because they already got paid. And they still get to keep the house. If they're going to foreclose on you, take all your money, get an insurance payment for that house. Why not just let you keep the house? They've already been paid for it. So the laws, the banking laws, the foreclosure laws, all that is totally, totally messed up. There's no way on earth it should be legal for the bank to take your property, take your money, put you out of your property, they get paid for your property, and then keep that property. That's insane. That's why they don't want you to adjust your mortgage, because they want the full amount. They don't care if your payments are out of whack. All this was designed by the master bankers to make trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars in profit. Now, who's suffering? People like us in the city of Detroit. It's not fair. I mean, we live here, we work here, we play here, we raise our children here. But what can we do against the bank? Not much. The courts are going along with it. Our president is going along with it. Our congressmen, our senators, our state reps. No one is suing. No one is fighting this. I talk to senators, congressmen, state representatives, judges, lawyers, you name it, all these different groups about this problem. But it's like speaking Japanese to Chinese people. They just don't understand. This is high level banking that I'm telling you about. But I can break it down on a level that anybody can understand. Your mortgage broker is supposed to explain this process to you. Most of them don't even know because they're hired to do a job. They do that job and that's it. So, Detroit, 2013, new election. We have to select a new mayor and a new city council. How are you going to make your decision? That's what's most important. You have to decide who can fix this mess. We have all these abandoned houses, dilapidated properties. It's a mess. The federal government comes in and says, hey, we can help you. Here's some money. Let's see what you do with this money. He gives it to the administration, whoever is sitting in the mayor's office. The city council approves the budgets. Whatever proposals that the mayor's office gives the council as far as their budget, the city council has attorneys and themselves to review it and say, this is the budget I want to work with. This is what I want to use. The problem is, if the mayor's office and the city council aren't talking to each other, that's anarchy, total chaos. How can you run a city when the executive branch of government and the legislative branch of government can't talk to each other? I don't understand it. Then we wonder why our city is falling apart. Someone has to be responsible. So, when you are looking at the next elected official to run this multi-billion-dollar corporation called the City of Detroit, you have to ask yourself, who is the best person to run this multi-billion-dollar corporation? Which person understands these complex banking matters that I just described to you and how to fix it? How do we hold these banks accountable for kicking people out of their properties even though the bank has been paid multiple times on that same property? How do we keep our people in their homes? The other situation I want to talk about is the educational system. I was talking to a high-ranking candidate that's running for mayor, and I said, I don't even say madam or sir, candidate, but candidate. In Beverly Hills, California, and in the city of Detroit, the people that live in both places want the exact same thing. The super rich and the average person wants the exact same thing. They want excellent schools for their children. They want public safety. They want to feel safe in their community. And they want a good home to live in. It's not rocket science. Those three things are most important. Those are the pivotal choices that every citizen wants in any community. Those primary three things. So when you're looking at council and the mayor's office, who's going to provide those three pivotal things for you? Who is capable of doing it? Who has the acumen to get the job done? That's what you have to ask yourself. Is it going to be a male or female? Is it going to be a person that's a business person or an accountant? Or is it going to be a homemaker? Is it going to be an attorney? Is it going to be a law enforcement officer? Is it going to be a state legislator? It's up to you. But in this election, if you make the wrong choice, I don't know what to tell you. Because if you pick the wrong person to run the city in the shape that it's in now, it's like a big toilet and you're just pulling the handle down and you're just flushing the last of the waste away. If you make the right decision, the bathroom's going to be remodeled. It's that simple. It's up to you. It's so important. I don't know how to emphasize it enough. It's not your typical election. Everybody that is not registered to vote, you need to go get registered. If you're not involved in one of these campaigns, get involved because you actually make a difference in this election. This one is the big one. You have to select someone that can get the job done. Now, it's up to you who you pick, but ask those people questions. Hold them accountable. In the past, we have elected people that wanted a job, that wanted the position, that wanted power, that wanted money, that wanted fame, and that wanted fortune. But when is the last time we had an elected official that wanted to do the job? When's the last time you had an elected official that says, look, I work for you, Detroit. You put me here. You tell me what you want, and I'll get the job done. That's the kind of person you need to elect. If those people can't do that, don't waste your vote. Get on with somebody else that's going to do that. Elected officials are not what you heard called career politicians. No such thing. A politician, by definition, is an employee of the people. The people elect that person to represent them. They are representatives of the people. These candidates that have been elected before, have forgotten that. They think now, I got the title. I'm the boss. I'm the man. I'm the woman. I'm the shiro. I'm the hero. Doesn't work like that. You're the employee, and you'll always be an employee. And you have to keep yourself humble and remember that. And I'm talking to all of you that are running for public office. You work for the people. Those are your bosses. I want to see you go around this community and put in the work before the election. I want to see you get your hands dirty. I want to see you making a difference. When people ask for your help, I want to see what you're going to do. Now, there's some people running that's been running for a long time. There's a candidate that's been running since Coleman Young's been running. Never won, but still running. I have to question that. What is the merit of that person? Why do you keep running for an office that you can't win? Why don't you run for a public office that you know you can win, where you can lend your skill set to make a difference? There's some weird things going on. There's candidates with absolutely zero experience running a multi-billion-dollar company. This city is a corporation on paper. It's filled with citizens. The United States of America is a corporation on paper. It is a listed legal corporation. So you have to look at this city as a business. It's unique in a sense that the people of the city of Detroit actually run the business, own the business, control the business. When you let your politicians ease you out of your right to govern, self-govern, to rule over your community, then you've already lost the fight. I was in Lansing when thousands and thousands of people marched on the state capitol. And you would think that the legislators there would say, wow, our constituents, our people are trying to tell us something. I'm listening for those chants. And they're listening. And they're saying, we don't care what they say. We're going to do what we want. That has to end. It's over for that. Now you are paying the price for allowing those people into office. It's your responsibility, Detroit, to change the dynamic of politics in this city. And you will be the new example for the rest of the country and show them that you know how to pick the right candidate to represent your will. Please, I implore you, pick a candidate that echoes how you feel. Pick a candidate that wants to hear what you have to say. Most candidates already have their objectives laid out. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But what have you done, though? You're saying you're going to do this. Where's the evidence? It's what have you been doing? And you'll do it greater once you reach this other position. Not what you propose to do. What have you been already doing? People that are running for public office should be already working in that field. If, for instance, I'm a doctor, if I were a doctor and wanted to be chief surgeon, I should already have been practicing medicine for a number of years and become an expert in surgery so that I can honorably become chief. If I were a police officer doing a great job for a number of years and I say, hey, I want to be the chief of police, I have a track record in law enforcement, makes sense. I shouldn't be a school teacher and then trying to run for police chief. It doesn't make sense. But when it comes to city council, when it comes to the mayor's office, when it comes to our state reps, legislators, when it comes to our Congress and senators, even our governor, where is the past? Where is their public service record? We're electing people by popularity. They have that name. You hear a name that you've been hearing for years of a relative of someone that's already been in the public's eye. And you say, oh, that's a familiar name. When you're looking at the ballot, check them off. Check them off. I'll pick them. I'll pick them. We've been doing that for decades. That has to stop. You need to know your candidate. You need to know them. Don't pick them because of their name. That's how we got in this mess. If a basketball player, football player, ballerina, dancer, singer is running for public office and you pick them because of their popularity in a field that has nothing to do with politics, then let me say this with all due respect, irrespectfully, you're a fool. How stupid can you be? It's your responsibility, Detroit, to take your power back. You have the ability, do it. It's your time. This is your season. The Bible tells you that the kingdom, in the book of Daniel, that the kingdom shall be taken from these people and given to the children of God. This is that time, Detroit. If you pick the right candidates, you will see this reflected. They'll be bringing you to the table, not all the typical preachers and big so-called leaders in the community that they always go to. Don't you know there's people that don't look like me and you, don't look like you and I. And they're from different races, very, very wealthy, very powerful, that have a love for Detroit and Detroiters. They sit around and talk to each other and say, wow, we want to make a difference. What can we do? You know, we don't want to step on anybody's toes. And they say, oh, you know what? Why don't we call their leaders? So they call the same old preachers, same old guys that's been around forever. And they say, yeah, give us your money and we'll help our people. Yeah. And then they take that money from this hand and put it right back here in their pocket. If you don't believe me, look around your neighborhood. You have mega churches and dilapidated buildings all around you. You have mega churches and dope fiends walking up and down the street. You have mega churches and prostitutes working right in front of the church. You have rapes, robberies, burglaries going around all around these mega churches. Does that make any sense to you? A pastor is supposed to be the representative of the flock. The pastor, and I'll flip this the way it's supposed to be. A pastor is grazing land, and we're the sheep. And our spiritual leaders are supposed to be our shepherds. Really, they shouldn't call us pastors. They should call us shepherds. The pastor is the grazing land. So in our case, Detroit is the actual pastor. That's the grazing land. You all are the sheep, and we're the shepherds. It's our responsibility to protect you. That's our job, to cover you, to watch out, to protect you from the wolves. But the Bible says, beware of wolves disguised in sheep's clothing. That's what we have all around us. So let me get back to my original point. There's a lot of people that don't look like us, that have a lot of money, that want to make a difference. They want to put that money in the right hands with people that are going to really get the job done. Guess what? You don't see your pastors out there with shovels, cleaning up these dirty alleys in these streets, boarding up houses, going on patrol, looking for murderers and rapists and killers. Guess what, though? We do it. We do it. I'm imploring, I'm begging, I'm asking, I'm pleading the powers that be, when you come into power, when you come into office, don't forget the real people out here doing the work. You've, in the past, keep giving to these same old school preachers that are not doing anything for the people. Stop doing that. Because this mess that's around us is a result of that. There's a gentleman, his name is Thompson, I believe. Very, very wealthy man. Caucasian gentleman, retired. I think he's a billionaire. He wanted to give over $200 million of his own money and build brand spanking new high schools in the city of Detroit for our children. Not his kids, our kids. And guess what happened? That same gentleman was run out of Detroit. Shut down his plans. Not because it wasn't a good idea, but because our so-called preachers, leaders, fought him tooth and nail every step of the way. They said, oh, you're not going to come in here and build and do this and do that and try to educate our children. We can't go out to West Bloomfield and do that. But if we had the money, we could. Why are we doing this? That's self-destruction. It's worse than the riots. During the riots, you can see the people shooting, looting, burning. But this is silent warfare. Your so-called leaders are destroying you because you allow them. They think they have the power to represent you, but they don't. Did they come back to the church or go on television and say, hey, people, listen, there's a guy named Thompson. He's rich, probably a billionaire. He wants to give $200 million to build brand new high schools for our children. What do you guys think about that? That never happened. We don't have those kind of conversations. These people think they're God. They rule over you. They make the decisions for you. That has to end. So Detroit, please, 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 I beg you, this election is your chance to take the kingdom back. Find a candidate that is willing to admit that you're the boss, they're the employee, and that they work for you. And then give them a list of requirements that you expect from them, expectations. I want them to do this, that, the other. Don't ask them what they're going to do. Tell them what you want them to do. And if they're complicit, if they want to comply to that, then hold them accountable. We always wait for the politician to say, hey, when I get in, I'm going to do all this stuff. Well, who said we wanted that done? We need to give them a list. Look at our governor. People elect him. Oh, he's a businessman. He can run the state and all that kind of stuff. Of course he's a businessman, but he has no compassion for people. He's running his own business agenda. Who in their right mind is representing Michigan, in the highest office in the state, the governor's office, going to another country, Canada, cutting deals with them, cutting out jobs and opportunity for Michiganders to provide jobs and opportunities for Canadians, and then that same person say they represent the state of Michigan. Now, if you don't believe it, look at the track record. Come on now. Now, the last part I'm going to talk about is Kevin Orr. The governor brings in an emergency manager. A lot of fiscal problems in the city of Detroit. We need somebody that's going to go in and manage it. Let me give a message to Kevin Orr. Kevin Orr, this is what you should do. Go department to department to department. Do an audit. Find where the money is going and where it's coming from and where it's supposed to be, and put it in order. That's your job. Your job isn't to run city government, which you haven't done yet, so I don't have a problem with that. What I expect from you, sir, is to do exactly what I'm saying. Do an audit, department, 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 department. Because there's so much corruption, so much malfeasance, so much theft, bribery, manipulation, that the city of Detroit is out of control. I hope to God that's why you're here. Now, just because the governor brought you in doesn't make you as corrupt as he is. As an African-American man, as a child of God, as a representative of African people, by blood, I expect you to do what's right. Not what you're told by the governor, but I expect you to do what's right. Because before anything, you have to answer to God. So with that, Detroit, I'm going to take a quick break, and we'll be back in a few seconds. Thank you. Maybe 2 minutes. I'll see you, Detroit. Thank you. I really appreciate your time.
2786. The following program does not reflect the views and opinions of Channel 33, its management, or sponsors. You're watching Power Talk on your community TV station, UHF TV 33, Detroit, Highland Park.
Welcome to Metro Foodland, where you will always find courteous service. Our hardworking staff always gives their all to maintain our dairy fresh and wholesome products, cold cuts, premium meats, and of course, we have some of the freshest produce around. Check out our deli and bistro. We also carry specialty items such as Tanisha Noni, Water Station alkaline water, and much, much more. If we don't have it, just ask, and we'll do our best to get it. Remember to ask how to join our Healthy Rewards Club. Seniors and ladies, always ask for an escort to your vehicle. We'll see you soon at Detroit's own community grocery, Metro Foodland, located at 18551 Grand River. That's 18551 Grand River, near Finkel and the Southfield Freeway. Remember, that's Metro Foodland.
Tuesdays, 9 p.m. on TV 33. Join me, Barry Ross, on Mixing It Up. We'll feature informative community organizations that will offer solutions to Wayne County residents in reference to employment, safety, and security within neighborhoods, job training, education, and mentoring programs. Remember, Tuesdays, 9 p.m. Join me, Barry Ross, Mixing It Up on TV 33. Welcome back, everybody, to Mixing It Up. I want to thank my co-host, Pastor L.A., who's beyond dynamic, intelligent, and really cares about you and the city of Detroit. And going to do some great things on this new administration coming in, and I guarantee you that. I want to thank Victor Muhammad for coming here tonight, and, of course, my basketball friend. But I have a surprise guest. I got 1 hot minute. Mr. David Troop is back in the house. David, how are you?
I'm pretty good. How you doing,
I haven't
Uncle
seen you in a long time. You know, I miss you and I love you. And David Troop is the young man that gave us the idea to start boarding up houses, and he came here tonight. We haven't seen each other in a long time, and we got a project coming up soon. And I guess, I started talking to David, so he had to come here and see his friend. And how are you? You're working 2 jobs, going to school.
3
jobs.
3 jobs. School is over. It's summer for us. It's just full work for me and full volunteer work. That's all I got planned for the summer.
All right,
really.
just real quick. You're 20 years old, and you are a dental
assistant.
He's making good money. He's continuing to strive, and he is proof positive that you just because a young African-American male is young, that doesn't mean he can't do right. And I want others to see David Troop is an amazing young man. And you're going to see more of him. And are you going to be able to help us out, hopefully, in the sometime during the summer?
Oh, yeah, I should be making more available time for the community, of course. That's where my heart is first and foremost. So I most definitely will be there and be available.
And you look like you've been still working out.
Oh, yeah,
All right.
summertime.
Still going
bikini
in every
season.
other day or whatever to your club or wherever you work out?
Yeah, it's bikini season, just right
All
right
right.
at home
You
in the
looking
hood.
good. How's your family? You everybody in the house okay?
Everybody pretty good. Life is fair.
All right. Real quick, next Wednesday, we're marching on Noble School. I'm taking a quick hot call if we got a quick second. Hello, you're on the air. We got about 20 seconds. How are you?
Well, I'm going to be real quick. I just want to give a shout-out to David. It's good
It's Malik.
to see that young brother. We miss him. We need him. And L.A. was the bomb. Now, you surprised me having him on tonight, but he was the bomb. And I was just looking. We started off talking about money and the banksters and how they're putting people out of their homes fraudulently. Earlier today, while working the phones, I was looking at one of my DVDs, actually 2, The Secret Birth of the Federal Reserve and Money as Debt. And everything LA was saying it was like I was watching the tape. He's 100% right. The banks are fraudulently putting people out of their homes, and they're getting paid. We think the banks are losing money. You get put out of your home. It ain't true.
Yeah, the people, the wise folks know they're getting paid. And Minister, L.A. and I told you, we spoke for 2 hours today, and I am so impressed with his acumen and knowledge and community and whatever. I had to have him on tonight. And
he did a great job, and we did a good job today on that cleanup. You, L.A., myself, and others did a great job on that cleanup this morning, 10 a.m., behind that convalescent home on Woodward off Claremont, where it was nothing but filth, trash, garbage, and debris, and an old stolen, set-on-fire car. We did a great job today.
You got it. And listen, I want to announce our thing next week in the March real quick. So let me go. I'm probably at 30 seconds over already, but I want to take your. Thank you.
Peace.
Thank you. We need money, y'all. I'm asking you. I'm not begging. But if you want us to come and make sure that your neighborhood is safe and clean, you got to start sending us $5. We'll take as low as $5. 17301 Livernois, Suite 405, Detroit 48221. You address this to GDRP, G-Drop. We need volunteers for our march next week also. We're meeting at Oakman School, 230-12920, Wadsworth. Until next week, David, thank you for coming. You know I love you. This man inspires us. And everybody have a nice week. L.A., thank you. It's 9 p.m. on TV 33. Join me, Barry Ross, on Mixing It Up. We'll feature informative community organizations that will offer solutions to Wayne County residents in reference to employment, safety, and security within neighborhoods, job training, education, and mentoring programs. Remember, Tuesdays, 9 p.m., join me, Barry Ross, Mixing It Up on TV 33.